Alright, what's up, boss Don? It's CurtisDonDeano. And long story short, we just trying to get right to it. I know this is a different kind of video for the channel, but I think that this video is very important, especially if you're trying to, make sure that your 2018 goes right and you want to stay sane. Mental health is very important. We talk about it a lot, but we don't talk about simple things that we can do just to keep ourselves sane and just clear-headed and somewhat positive. And I think a lot of it involves self-love. Now that sound a little corny. These like soul break show. I was like, what the hell? And then it's like something that's in my contact, I think. Alright, but let's just get right to it. So, I wrote this down. I wrote this at probably the top of December. Let me see. Can't really see it, but that's not really important that you see it because I'm about to read off the list. So, the first thing I said is defend myself to scrutiny versus internalizing it. A lot of times people make claims on my character and I won't defend it. I'll just go like, okay, and then it'll be something that bothers me a lot. Like if someone calls me selfish, I'll just be like, okay, people always call me selfish. No, I need to defend myself. I'm not selfish. I'm not selfish. I'm self-prioritized. It's a big difference. 2, find a way to exercise every day. And this can mean walking. This can mean, shit, if you want to go to the mall and walk around the mall, do that, I ain't gonna lie. You've been to the mall before and left tired, like, oh yeah, no, that was extreme. Then the next one would be don't play safe. What I mean is a lot of times I think I take the safe way out. That's me. But to me, that's betting on myself. That's believing in myself. So I think that's a way to practice self-love as well. 4, say no, say no, say no. Sometimes we'll do things because we don't mind doing them, but it really will interfere with what we have going on. You just have to say no sometimes. And then I want to do like a 10-minute no thinking every day. And for someone like me, that would be very difficult because my mind is always going. I'm always thinking of a new idea. I'm always thinking of what I should be doing when I'm not doing it. I always think like, damn, I could have been recording a video right now. Or, wow, I wish I was a vlogger. Or this or... And so the next thing is 10 minutes of no thinking daily. For me, it would be difficult because I'm a thinker. Like that's what I am. That's who I am. That's like my identity. But for just the general population, I recommend the no thinking because sometimes we stress ourselves out like that. And I think it'd be really dope to just relax for 10 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Why would I set the list down and I read the next one? Then 6, be nice to everybody you come across. I like a lot of times, being nice to people does something to you, especially when it's a stranger. It does something for you. So sometimes just smiling at a stranger or holding that door for somebody, little shit like that, yo, and you get that thank you and you make someone else feel better, it really does something for you. I think I need to, and also like I need to make smaller lists. I have a planner and I will write down 30 things that I need to do that day, and then that'll just end up with me completing 4 or 5 things and then being like, damn, of course I didn't do what I was supposed to do today. I'm being mad at myself. So my new goal is to try to make smaller lists with only like, 4 or 5 tasks. And then once I do those, then just move to the next ones. Keep all spaces clean. So I wrote this list at the beginning of December. I still had a job then. And, going to work was always a bummer sometimes. I said a bummer, like who the fuck am I? Because the desk was always messy, and it's like I'm not the only person that works there, so cleaning it all the time is like, man, I ain't cleaning that shit. But I say that to say, you need to keep all your workspaces clean, at the office, I don't know, at home, just keep all spaces clean. It does something for your mind, I think. I want to start praying without asking for anything. I feel like that's just a dope way to reflect on what you're grateful for, and it'll remind you what you're grateful for. Remind you of some stuff that you are happy about. Might brighten your day a little bit. I want to start picking out my clothes in advance. If you look at like any super successful person, they typically have a uniform. Even like designers, they typically have a uniform. And I think what that does is it just allows them to move throughout the day. That's why I think they said like that's why uniforms in school is like important, because it allows the students to think about that and not what they have on. Shit, man. I used to dress up my uniform, so. Write. I used to write all the time, and I think that writing just breeds creativity. It just like pours out your thoughts, shit you didn't even know that you were thinking. And I said good TV and movies 2 to 3 times a week. Now, everyone has their own addiction. Some people like to drink. Some people like to smoke. Everyone has their own vice, so to speak. And for me, that is a movie or television. So I think I need to, I don't think. I literally have, where's my wallet? I literally have this, and this is not sponsored by them, but I have this thing called Movie Pass. I would show my number right now. I have this thing called Movie Pass, and Movie Pass is like Netflix, but basically it allows you to, Movie Pass allows you to go see one movie a day. I think they cover up to about $12 of the movie cost, so if you go to a movie and it costs like $14, you pay $2. But you can go every day, once a day. I think that's tough. And it's only for $9.99 a month. It's like Netflix. So I pay for Netflix and that should keep me happy. And then motivational music every morning. A lot of times we'll listen to a good song, like you might be listening, like, and that might mean something different. Like you don't need a song that would be like, go and get it, get up and do your work. You might not need nothing corny like that, but you might need something along the lines of like for instance, if you working on your body and Nikki come on and say, perfect, my body's perfect, nobody's perfect, somebody lied, you know that verse. Like if that's what motivates you, then put that on. Like make a playlist of motivational music. Like I like all types. Sometimes it might be a gospel song, sometimes it might be Gunna, don't give up, no, don't give up. Okay, never mind. Then 14, go for small walks. Corny, but I used to love it. When I was really young, I would walk around like my neighborhood, like, and just imagine things and dream things. Like I would see a leaf in the water from it just raining in the curb, and I would be thinking like, I wonder like if like that was a pond, like just little cordy. Only say thank you to compliments, don't explain. I'm the king of. Somebody be like, oh, you look nice. Yeah, but they're like, oh, I like the way you let your beard connect. And I'll be like, oh, well, I mean, it's still growing and I'm not really too sure about it. Like, I just say thank you. I think people would appreciate that much more. Daily grooming stuff. So, like, if that means that some days a face mask, some days a teeth charcoal. I got videos on both of those. Some days that might mean, like, combing this all out and moisturizing it and stuff like that. Like make sure I'm doing like that stuff daily. It makes you feel better about yourself, keep your skin up. You know what I'm saying? Of course, drinking a lot of water, good stuff like that. Don't go to places with people. Don't go to places with people who don't come out for you. This is just me because I start to resent. Where I'm at because I'll be thinking like, but I always resent it once I get there. When I get the invite, it's like, oh, sure, I'm glad I'm here. And this isn't really being tit for tat. This is just learning that people use you for certain things, and events is definitely one of them. Give more hugs. The first time I ever really cried at a funeral, it was because it was something like I kind of held my composure the entire time. It's not like I wasn't trying to cry, but I guess I just had these built up emotions I didn't know about. And the second I hugged my mother, I just cried so bad. Like the tears just came out, and I started, that cry shake. I was doing that, but I think the reason why was the hug. Hugs are way more powerful than we lead on. Like, hugs can be sometimes just as intimate as kisses. I remember in middle school, like, and even in high school, like, you will hug everybody. Like, you like, oh, hey, how you doing today? It's like, I guess when you aren't around the same people every day, you don't give hugs. But hugs are very important, I think. Text a random contact, good morning. Once again, this is like speaking to strangers, but instead keeping in touch with people you already know. Yes, it'll seem weird. Yes, it'll seem like you want something. No, you won't feel like keeping the conversation up. But you could just say, hey, just wanted to say good morning, star emoji. That's it. They'll say, hey, good morning, how you been? And you can like, you don't even gotta respond after that. You did your duty. You can respond. And then move on my own time. This is something I've gotten better at without even looking at the list in a month. Moving on my own time. I am such a wait for this person, like even like I tell you about going to the movies. I beg my friends to go to the movies. I beg my little sister to go to the movies with me. I beg anybody to go to the movie with me. Shit, if you right now that's watching this video told me that you wanted to go, I'm like, okay, sure. Like I'm pretty. It's pretty pathetic, but it's just the truth. And I just gotta move in my own time. If that means going to the movies by myself, or if that means if I'm invited somewhere, that means and I can't drink because I'll have to drive at that, so I can move in my own time. Then that thing. Because people always do that to me. Like, people will be like, oh, well, I gotta do this or this or that or that. When people ask me to go places or do stuff, I jump. And I gotta learn to move in my own time. And it'll also allow me to get more stuff accomplished. Buy a coloring book and color. Now, this may not be the best way for you to practice self-love or to pay attention to yourself. But for me, it is. I'm a very creative person, and coloring is always, I think coloring is relaxing anyway. I don't care what anyone says. It's probably relaxing for everybody. Even if you can't color, I mean, like, you gotta move your hand, and you should be fine. Well, I don't remember this one. Buy a puzzle and put that bitch together. Hey, yo, this is what it says. Yeah, I think puzzles, the same thing as coloring. It's like that relaxing of the mind. I think these are the things that keep us sane. And yeah, it's time consuming. Yeah, you got a lot more stuff to accomplish. But sometimes I think giving yourself this time to like relax or do something else that isn't so worryful will allow you to then perform better. Once you start, if like one day, like a Saturday, because it's 2018, and on a Saturday, I just was like, F all this, I'm gonna just work straight through everything. Do you know how like bored I became with what I was doing, even though these are things I love doing? It almost made I was so resentful of doing all that work that day. I didn't work the next 2 days. I did nothing. I was like, oh shit, I'm watching TV all day today. You know what I'm saying? So now we're on 23. And it says go with the flow for once. And I know that kind of disagrees with some other stuff I said, like moving on your own time. But a lot of times I try to force things, I try to force people to do things, and now I just gotta go with the flow. Like, okay, you don't want to do this with me, you don't want to be with me, or something, I don't know, something like that, then can't force it. Prep food in advance. This is very important. I'm a vegetarian and I eat trash. I eat trash because I never prep my food. I also spend a lot of money out eating because I don't prep my food. I need to prep my food. And it doesn't mean like, a week. Because by the time the 4th or 5th day, you're like, man, now 25, find time to dance. Right, that's not my time to dance. You should have danced with me. 26. Stop thinking about people that don't like you. Stop. Yo, it's like, at the end of the day, they don't care about you. It's like, old friends I used to have, I used to really value like what they thought, and I gotta stop doing that. Stop thinking about people who already don't like you. You be thinking sometimes, even in a business world, I'll be like, yo, let me not do this because, man, fuck them. They not worried about you. Why should you be worried about them? And these are the facts. You gotta stop throwing the paper. 28. I'm gonna skip to 29. Start your business and stop going out. And that's just for anybody. If you already got your business started, work on your business. Everybody don't need to have a business. Apply for the job, stop going out. I don't know, just make that apply to you. Focus on your schoolwork, stop going out. Because it is, you win in the long run. 28, I'll go back to 28. Stop trying to prove you're a good person. Oh wait, I skipped one anyway. Okay, I skipped 27, my favorite number. Stop trying to prove you're a good person. That's in capital. Because that's just like my main goal. Like when people ask me to do stuff, and this goes back to say no. People, I like sometimes like, yesterday for instance, I had to drop off a tracksuit to somebody. But I was waiting to pick my sister up from her job interview. In the meantime, someone had asked me to take them to the hospital. It was kind of not too far from where I had to drop the tracksuit off, so I said yes. But they wanted me to wait while they got their prescription. In the time of waiting to see, and while waiting for them to get their prescription, I had to drop the tracksuit off. But they were taking too long to get the prescription, so I left them. I let them drop the tracksuit off, and then my sister calls me and says, bro, I'm ready, come pick me up. So now I'm like running like a rat with my head cut off, like running lights and all some more stuff. And the reason why these things the reason why I'm mentioning that story is because I was trying so hard to prove to the person who I took to the pharmacy. I was trying to prove to my sister I'm a good person. And it's like, but all I did was deter from what I really wanted to do, which was record. So, stop trying to prove you're a good person. People know who's a good person and who's not. I skipped 27. Don't hold stuff against yourself. I'm really big at that. I'm really big with holding stuff against myself. Gotta stop holding stuff against myself. Gotta stop holding stuff against myself. I'm a very, like, hard on myself type person. Like I was telling you earlier, if I don't finish something on my to-do list, it really bothers me. I feel stressed. I don't feel like a day completed, you know? I'm not like... And I think it helps sometimes because it keeps me focused, but sometimes it just hurts. And then 30, remind yourself, I am alive. You know, sometimes we trip off of sometimes we trip from not being where we want to be at. Sometimes we are concerned with other things like what we don't have or, you know, how another person is living. But you have to remind yourself, I am alive. Like, I am so blessed right now that I'm alive. I have been given life and I'm alive. Like, that alone, reminding yourself of that alone is probably like the easiest way to practice self-love. And this is for anybody who might need this, but whatever you're going through, just know that there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. You just got to get to the end of the tunnel. And you definitely can get through it. Prayer helps. And until next time, let me know if you guys like this video also, because I know this was kind of different. But stay untouchable. Godspeed.